Check 1 2 1 2. What's good, everybody? Let it slow down. Let some people filter in. What's cracking? Adrian Kapoy, Milton Patton was cracking. Again, I'm in transition, so the audios and the visuals, the last time I seen it, I ain't like what I saw. It was kind of choppy, so I'm going regular. Reggio. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. I need to know if you can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. All right, I got some people here, man. They can hear me, man. So, salute Barry Little, the Black Toxic Masculinist, Jerome Xavier McCrae, Milton Patton, Adrian Kapoy. All right, so look. Ignaz Mouse was cracking with you. How you doing? I'm going to wait till at least maybe perhaps 20 people get in, and then I'll probably get ready to get rolling. This is impromptu, really, for real, because I ain't planning on doing this today. But I figured, I may as well go ahead and do it. I got a brother, man, my frat brother here, man. All right, man, are you there? Are you there, bro? Can you hear? Are you there? Yeah, he got something crazy going on with his phone, man. See if you can get that straight, man. Try again. Because whatever's going on, man, you can't chime in. I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I got going on is a lot of construction and shit going on in my house, man. I mean, recently, I've been like not having hot water for 2 weeks because I moved back into my mother's house, which is not my house, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I moved back here and I tried to get the gas turned on, but I couldn't get it turned on because they had gas leaks all in the line. So I had to spend a shit ton of money to get all of the gas leaks out of the line so that they could turn the gas on, because it wouldn't hold pressure, and it was a law against them being able to get it started up, the service to be started without the shit being correct. So it's been a little stressful. Let me see. All right, what's up, man? Are you working now?
Yeah, I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh man, this damn phone. What's going on, team?
Ain't shit to it, man. Nothing to it but to do it, man. I was kind of like trying to detail and tell all the people out there what's been going on lately. And like I was telling you, ultimately, man, I've been dealing with like trying to get, hot water, because for the past couple of weeks I haven't been able to get it because there was something wrong with the gas line. So I had to have plumbers come to the house and fix the gas lines, and they eventually ended up fixing them. And so it's all to the good now. So they came and turned the service on Monday. So
right. Right.
And but I could have stayed at a hotel. You got an echo going, but I could have stayed at a hotel or somewhere else. But I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, because I had just recently got these, guys who kind of been like squatting in my crib. I finally got them out. And in order for me to keep them out, I got to be where, I got to be there. That was my opinion. So anyway, man, no, they didn't have to dig. They didn't have to do any digging whatsoever. But they did have to crack a hole in one of the ceilings, part of the ceiling, in order to get it right, because everything is in the basement and it was all overhead. So they finally got that fixed, and it took them 8 hours, and they tried to overcharge me for it. But look, I mean, good people, man. But I was like, dude, I told you what I had. You told me what the price was. This is where we at with it. I'm not about to go above and beyond or under or below. This is what it is. This is where I'm sticking with it. So it is what it is. But anyway, all right. Are you there, man? Yeah, he's having issues with his system, man. So, or whatever he's got going on with his phone or whatever. You might want to get to a computer, man, at your job or something like that if you can. Or else you just have to I'm just gonna do this. Look, you had some questions you wanted to ask me, and I was gonna let you ask the questions. So are you there? Is your shit working? Yeah, he's having some issues. But anyway, so before we get into all that technical stuff, man. Oh, they muted themselves. But anyway, let me just get into this, man. So everybody knows, man, I've been embroiled in some sort of fucking argumentative controversy with a content creator, man. You know who his name is. I'm not about to go deep off into that shit. It makes no sense to me to go deep off into it, But ultimately, man, I'm here to just explain to you. I apologize for going on a drunken rant, but I was pissed the fuck off. I'm a human being, man, and when I see myself being violated, my dignity being violated, I feel like I have a right to defend myself. But at any rate, the shit got out of hand, and so I said some shit I probably shouldn't have said and did some shit I probably shouldn't have done or whatever the case may be, but that's beyond the point. I'm going to tell you why I was pissed in the first place. Okay, now everybody knows, man, I've been in this space for damn near, 4 years, and I've been telling y'all from the beginning, I am a proponent of free speech, and I have an issue with cancel culture. I've been saying this shit for the longest. It ain't my first time saying it. Now, if you want evidence for the fact that I have actually said it, here's some links right here to all the times that I ain't gonna say all the times, but several times where I've made mention of cancel culture and how I don't like it and how I'm standing against it. There are the links right there. I don't know if you can see those links, if they're popping up the way they should on YouTube, but those are the links to the videos. I've said I don't agree with, I don't support and endorse cancel culture. I even read an article to y'all from Harper's Magazine, which kind of detailed the reasons why I'm against censorship and cancelization and deplatforming and all that shit in general. Hold on, let me see. Art, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me? How's my sound?
Yeah, you cool. Your sound is cool.
Okay.
But let me
go ahead.
But at any rate, my frat brother saw what I did on the Saturday where I went off in a fucking rage or whatever the case may be. And he asked me, this brother here asked me to take the video down. And what did I do when you asked me to do it?
You took it down.
For the most part, I said, I ain't going to take it all the way down, but I'll trim it.
Right.
Now, this is my frat brother. He asked me to do it, so I did it. Otherwise, I'd have kept the shit up there, warts and all. I don't care if it looked bad, if it was getting on people's nerves, if it, seemed offensive, I'd have kept it up there. But he asked me to take it down. That's my frat brother. I took it down. If a bro asked me to do something and it's in my power to do, I'm going to do it. Okay? It is what it is. So having said that, do you have any questions you want to ask me, Art, man?
Yeah, dog. So, matter of fact, how's your day, dog?
Oh, it's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? I just, man, like I said before, man, I got a whole bunch of crazy shit going on here, man. So I had a guy who was staying upstairs, and he kind of let the whole apartment go. Like a couple of years ago, when I came to the this spot to visit, everything was in pristine condition. And then now all of a sudden, when I come back this time, this motherfucker then became a hoarder. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's shit everywhere, clutter everywhere, shit all over the floor. So I'm coming in, I'm like, bro, you got to get the fuck up out of here, man. You got to leave. I don't want to go holler at them people to get you to leave either. I need for you to go. So anyway, the people who were downstairs brought their own appliances because the appliances that were down here, for some reason, the motherfucker, I haven't been here in 4 years. So I haven't been able to manage the property because I couldn't leave the state of Texas over legal issues. And I think everybody knows what the issues are. But anyway, suffice it to say, I've been cleaning appliances and shit like this and connecting what was going on upstairs, downstairs, because downstairs is the most viable and the best looking, part of the house at this current moment. So I got to get everything back up to code so I can start renting this shit out again. So that's the process I'm involved in right now. And it's become costly, to say the least. So those are the kind of things that I'm going through right this minute. But other than that, man, I'm good.
Okay, but it don't sound like you're a happy camper these days.
Man, well, how can I be happy?
Right.
Why would I be happy, man, given all the crazy shit I'm going through at the current moment? So I'm on
Yeah.
edge in general, man.
Yeah, so you going through real stuff. So
Real life shit, man.
so basically, I was just kind of curious as far as like when you had, I think that was a Saturday that you did that live stream.
Right, right.
All right. Saturday. So basically, were you going through some things besides what was going on YouTube, or was that the reason why you were in that state?
Bro, I haven't been on YouTube. If you notice, I haven't done YouTube videos in a very long time. And when I have done them, they've been off, the cuff. They've been at random times because I'm in transition. Now I finally got myself settled in the crib, but there's like problems that are occurring in the crib. You see what I'm saying? And so I just have to adjust. And I've been without hot water for fucking 20 some odd days, man. So that shit pissed me off. And it wasn't for the fact that when I called Spire, that's the company that basically does gas in St. Louis, Spire, right? So they told me when I called them, they said, well, it's going to take 10 days for us to come out there. I'm like, 10 days for an appointment to get the gas cut on? Like, why would it take 10 days? But at any rate, I waited the 10 days and then I'm expecting to, to get the shit turned on. And then come to find out because of the pressure test that I couldn't get it turned on. So they had to go, and file some sort of report saying that it's not safe to turn it on. So the next day I called a group of, heating and cooling guys that do plumbing and to operate on gas lines to come get the shit situated. So I got it situated the next day, and then it took them 4 days to finally come back, the gas company to finally come back and to rehook up, the gas. So that's what I've been going through. You know what I'm saying? And then not to mention, I got a partner here whose wife kicked it for 15 years, basically kicked his ass out of the house. You know what I'm saying? And left the nigga on the street. And so I'm like, damn. So, I'm like, dude, I ain't gonna let you sleep in your car. It's fucking 30 degrees and below outside. You know what I'm saying? I gotta provide, if it's in my, power, I have to provide a means by which to, help this man out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's kind of here right now, but it's kind of crazy because he's going back and forth to work. He works at a car dealership. That's what he does. He's in auto sales. Okay. So anyway, man, look, let's get to the crux of the matter though. All of that is personal information, but yeah, I'm going through transition and I'm dealing with the fact that I'm in a house that I know I left in good repair when I left it. And now I feel like I got to make all of these kind of structural repairs to, to this property. So am I on edge? Yes, I am. You know what I'm saying? Am I a little testy and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Yes, I am. But having said all that, man, look, all I'm trying to assert to you all and to tell you is that, and you can listen to me, all right, man, and you can intervene when you feel like it. But I've been saying for the past 4 or 5 years that I have an issue with cancel culture and I have a problem with people who try to restrict dialogue and to close off debate. That's what I've been saying for the longest time. And I basically said, and I'll show it to you. I read this on several videos. I'll read it again because it's so short. I said, and this is a letter from Harper's Magazine, a letter on justice and open debate. It says, our cultural institutions are facing a moment of trial. Powerful protests for racial and social justice are leading to overdue demands for police reform. All of this is when Black Lives Matter was going on, along with wider calls for greater equality and inclusion across our society, not least in higher education, journalism, philanthropy, and the arts. But this needed reckoning has also intensified a new set of moral attitudes and political commitments that tend to weaken our norms of open debate and toleration of differences in favor of ideological conformity. Okay?
Right.
As we applaud the first development, we also raise our voices against the second. Okay, meaning closing off or like ideological conformity, right? Then they go on to say, and I think this is a little bit political, but it is what it is. The forces of illiberalism are gaining strength throughout the world and have a powerful ally in Donald Trump, who represents a real threat to democracy. But resistance must not be allowed to harden into its own brand of dogma or coercion, which right-wing demagogues are already exploiting. Now, do I think it's partisan? This part of it, yes. But the main thrust of it, I don't. The democratic inclusion we want can be achieved only if we speak out against the intolerant climate that is set in on all sides. The free exchange of information and ideas, the lifeblood of a liberal society, is becoming more constricted. While we expect this on the radical right, censoriousness is also spreading more widely in our culture. An intolerance of opposing views, a vogue for public shaming and ostracism, and the tendency to dissolve complex policy issues in a blinding moral circle. We uphold the value of robust and even caustic counter speech from all quarters, meaning if it gets rough and rugged, we allow for it, we permit for it, we uphold it, even if we disagree with it or find it morally repugnant. But anyway, now all too common it is to hear calls for swift and severe retribution in response to perceived transgressions of speech and thought. More troubling still, institutional leaders like the head of corporations or schools or, community platforms or social media platforms, right? In a spirit of panicked damage control, are delivering hasty and disproportionate punishments instead of considered reforms. Editors are fired for running controversial pieces. Books are withdrawn for alleged inauthenticity. Journalists are barred from writing on certain topics. Professors are investigated for quoting works of literature in class. A researcher is fired for circulating a peer-reviewed academic study, and the heads of organizations are ousted for what are sometimes just clumsy mistakes. Whatever the arguments around each particular incident, the result has been to narrow steadily the boundaries of what can be said without threat of reprisal. We are already paying the price in greater risk aversion among writers, artists, journalists who fear for their livelihoods if they depart from the consensus or even lack sufficient zeal in agreement. And the last paragraph is, this stifling atmosphere will ultimately harm the most vital causes of our time. The restriction of debate, whether by a repressive government or an intolerant society, invariably hurts those who lack power. And it makes everyone less capable of democratic participation. Now, I happen to agree with that. I think that that's spot on. As soon as you start restricting debate and determining what can and what can't be said, what's appropriate or inappropriate, what's moral or immoral. Now, you can debate it and say that it's such, but to say that I'm going to fucking prevent it from being said, I think that more often than not, the most vulnerable, the most oppressed, the most stigmatized, and the most targeted populations are going to be hurt by this new form of censoriousness more than anybody else. So those were the kind of points I was making when the man asked me the question, like, what do you think about Cynthia G? Because this is about Cynthia G. He asked me the question. I said, hey, bro, I think she's promoting genocidal logic by saying that black babies should be aborted in the womb, and I find it morally repugnant. However, I said, I have a problem in general, not in particular, not specifically. I said I have a problem in general for people being canceled for the shit that they say. And I'll put the links in the chat for anybody to see. I've been saying this shit for years. Nobody had an objection to me saying it then. But when it comes to Cynthia G, all of a sudden everybody's saying I'm promoting and endorsing and defending Cynthia G. And I said on so many occasions, I don't give a fuck about Cynthia G. Don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any feelings of, I want to embrace this chick or I support what she's saying. I'm trying to put a bullhorn on her. I think by us talking about the shit over and over and over again, it's giving the chick more legs than she fucking deserves. That's my opinion. But anyway, finishing the article, they say, the way to defeat bad ideas is by exposure, argument, and persuasion, not by trying to silence or wish them away. We refuse any false choice between justice and freedom, which cannot exist without each other. If you want justice, you got to have freedom. Can't start restricting freedom and think you're going to get more justice. That's what they're trying to articulate here. As writers, we need a culture that leaves us room for experimentation, risk-taking, and even mistakes. We need to preserve the possibility of good faith disagreement without dire professional consequences. If we don't defend the very thing on which our work depends, we shouldn't expect the public or the state to defend it for us. And it's a litany of scholars, even some people who are famous like Wynton Marsalis and a whole host of other people, you know, Nervin L. Painter and shit like that. Even the conservative John McWhorter.
Hold on. I'm sorry about that, bro.
So anyway, having said all that.
Sorry about that, dog.
Yeah, it's cool. So all I'm trying to articulate is that when we kind of join in on becoming more intolerant and restricting debate ourselves, it's going to hurt us more than anybody else. It's not going to help us. It's going to hurt us more. It's going to be directed towards us more, you know, fervently than other groups. We already know this. And look, let me just say this shit. Recently, I did a couple of shows with an Asian guy that I went to graduate school with. Those people, man, went and did research because he kind of, you know, made some remarks about where he worked and what kind of position he held and where he was doing the work, what city he was doing it in. Man, do you know, people emailed him, man, and basically threatened to call human resources on this dude?
Yeah, that's the typical response to
just
people
for talking to me, man.
Yeah.
Just for having a conversation with me. And then guys in the chat start saying things that they, you know, consider to be, you know, problems with black women and like interracial dating and divestiture conversations and talk. And then guess what ended up happening? He asked me to take the videos down, so I took them down because I didn't want to fuck up this man's professional career. And if you ask me, I think it's a bitch move for a woman to ask a man, why are you allowing yourself to be part of these conversations? This is misogynoir. I'm going to report you to diversity, equity, and inclusion where you work if you don't like make a statement to the contrary of what you would kind of like. Maybe he didn't even say anything. He just pulled back from the whole conversation after it was directed towards black women because he was scared to say anything because he knew it could have professional implications on his job.
Right. Right.
So that's the kind of shit I want to fight against. It ain't that I'm trying to support Cynthia G in particular. It has nothing to do with that. I know for a fact there are guys in this space. I ain't gonna say no names or none of that shit, but have been brought under purview by their institution for having conversations about issues related to black men on fucking YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So we talking about a man who's putting his dick on the chopping block to talk in your behalf, but he's still, every now and then you got anti-intellectuals in this space who hate motherfuckers who got degrees and always want to deride and say, you know, shit like that don't really make or mean anything at all. You really actually ain't shit. You really ain't smart for real at all anyway.
Right.
And I'm saying, come on, man. Like, look, nice to know how you feel. Nice to know that that's where you was coming from the beginning. Now, I know for a fact, like, and the reason I put up the Apologia, it reminds me of Socrates and, you know, in the Apology, where he was basically indicted for corrupting the youth, engaging in impiety, and doing something else to disturb the public peace or some shit like that.
Right.
All right. So that's what he was indicted for. And he came to the assembly where all of the judges were, or the senators that were, you know, basically making these claims against him, and he told them. And I'll tell you, like Socrates told them back then, I don't know shit for real. I'm a finite man with a finite brain with a finite amount of knowledge. I know I'm ignorant in many regards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know this. I'm well aware of this. But come on, fam. Let's just keep it a bean, man. Bro, I've been doing like work surrounding democratic theory for 20 plus years, man. And if I try to explain to you what my position is, at least give me the benefit of the doubt before you go ham on me and start to fucking express disgust and contempt for the position I'm taking, man. That's all I'm asking for. Give me the fucking benefit of the doubt. Don't loud talk me on my own platform, and then don't blame me for us being in this condition because I want to play with the kid gloves or some shit like that, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, bro, I'm not about to abandon my principles for some fucking weave hat wearing chick on YouTube that to me is a non-fucking factor, man.
Right.
She's not a factor in public policy, institutional, regulations or policies. She's a dollar-digit midget, man. It is what it is. And so I basically said, look, bro, and you don't believe me, nobody believes what I'm saying. So if you don't believe me, believe ChatGPT, bro. Okay? Believe ChatGPT. You don't believe me because I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I really am not all that intelligent. And I know I'm not. So I'm kind of ignorant. So do you see that? Can you see that on the screen?
I can see it.
Okay. So it says, and I kind of, I just typed some shit in like quickly before this show. Supporting free speech does not mean that you agree with any particular person's speech. However, what fallacies persist when someone says that promoting free speech is equal to supporting bad ideas or even hate? And guess what ChatGPT said? It's an artificial fucking intelligence. Pretty impartial in the way it puts out information, right? You're touching on a nuanced and complex issue here. The discussion around free speech and its implications, especially in the context of controversial or offensive ideas, is rife with potential misunderstandings and fallacies. Let's break it down. Number one, a conflation fallacy. And that's exactly what happened during the time. I'm like, why are motherfuckers coming up to the plate saying I'm defending this bitch, man? Cynthia G. Why? A misstep in conflating the defense of free speech with the endorsement of specific content. This is a form of the conflation fallacy. Since everybody knows fallacies and shit like that when you do them, but they don't understand fallacies when they do them. They can't identify the missteps in their own reasoning. And all I'm trying to do is to point it out, not in a sense of evilness or I'm trying to ridicule or I'm trying to roast a motherfucker. I'm trying to tell you the truth as I see it. That's why I got on the thumbnail Diogenes the centipede with the dog and with the lamp. Because he's around looking for an honest man, regardless as to what the blowback or the consequences will be. So anyway, this is a form of conflation fallacy where two different concepts, in this case, supporting the right to speak and agreeing with what is said, are treated as if they are the same thing. Promoting free speech is fundamentally about upholding a principle, not necessarily aligning with the ideas expressed. Now, why intelligent men who consider themselves to be amenable to reason and logic, can't fucking seem to get that through their thick fucking skulls, I don't understand, bro. I don't get that. I personally don't understand it. But then another error in reasoning is the straw man fallacy, which I've been indicted for doing. Critics may sometimes misrepresent the position of free speech advocates, suggesting that they support harmful or hateful ideas, when in fact, the advocates are supporting the broader principle of free expression. This is a kind of straw man fallacy where an argument is oversimplified or distorted to make it look easier to attack. What other kind of fallacy is existing there? A slippery slope. I think I even said slippery slope in the context of the discussion. It's a tendency to use the slippery slope where the argument is made that allowing offensive speech will inevitably lead to severe societal harm or the breakdown of civil discourse. Now, in this case, the former severe societal harm, specifically the severe harm of Black men, was brought in as a counterpoint to what I said. But then I didn't even mention false dichotomy or ad hominem arguments or none of that. But I don't even feel the need to even go into all of that. Okay. But these are some of the fallacies that are present when you conflate somebody saying they're a proponent of free speech with defending anything anybody says in particular in the public sphere. It's a fucking fallacy, man. I just don't understand why people can't understand that shit. I don't get it. I'm confused about that shit. Then the debate took another turn. The debate took a turn, and let's ask ChatGPT. Motherfucker said her speech is harmful. Her speech is actually like yelling fire in a crowded theater. So the comparison was made to yelling fire in a crowded theater to hate speech and treating them equivalently. I said, bro, the two are not the same thing. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. Bro, in fact, they're not. So I say, man, look, is it the case that this shit is exactly the same? And guess what ChatGPT says? Right, GG? Comparing the example of yelling fire in a crowded theater to hate speech and treating them as equivalent under the First Amendment involves several logical fallacies and misunderstandings. The first one, and I think I said this shit, it's a false equivalency. The two are not the same. Now, I can go into depth. I don't even need to use ChatGPT to do it, but since nobody trusts my word, I feel like I got to go to AI to try to make the arguments for me. When I should have been able to, on my own fucking show, to present the information without an emotional response of, I feel that you're fucking preventing us from getting where we need to be. You're the reason why we are where we are. At first, I was like, you know what? I ain't going to even respond to that shit. I'm just going to let it roll off my shoulders and keep rolling with the show. But the more I heard it, the more I got to thinking, this Negro is just basically saying, fuck everything I stand for, man. It wasn't even a spirit of camaraderie or leniency or like goodwill. It was like, nigga, you're the problem, nigga. Niggas who think like you, act like you, walk like you, talk like you, it's a fucking problem. And I'm saying, damn, man, that's a hell of an indictment to a man that's just trying to basically point out that, bro, yelling fire in a crowded theater is illegal in the United States because it presents a clear and present danger, man, to fucking the public's safety, man. If you yell bomb on an airplane, motherfuckers might get up and trample and, you know, try to get out of harm's way or whatever the case may be. If you yell bomb in a mall or whatever, it could create immediate public panic. Immediate.
So dog. So I think that your audience and everybody and your supporters, I don't think anybody disagree with you.
But bro, I get that, but I just want people to understand what I was trying to articulate. And when I get done with that, I want to get done with it, man. Okay, because I don't want to revisit this anymore. Period. So I'm just basically trying to say that the two are not the same. They're not. And if you think that they're the same, you're misunderstanding the law. One form of speech is illegal because it creates immediate public panic. The other form of speech, even though it's morally repugnant, is protected by the First Amendment of the United States. It is, man. It's a fact that it is. Now, I might not like it. I might not agree with it. But the fact is, that's the law. And until somebody can make a justification for abandoning the First Amendment, you can't say that the two are the same. It's just it's a fucking fallacy. It's not true.
Right.
I dare any professor, whether they're a full, associate, assistant, I dare any attorney, I dare any judge or peacekeeping officer or anybody anywhere to fucking refute the fact that these two forms of speech are qualitatively and conceptually different from one another. This is not, by me saying that, just me telling the truth. It's not supporting Cynthia G or the fucking abortion of black male babies, bro. I don't know how this became conflated at all.
Yeah, I don't think.
And lastly, the last thing, man, Hitler was invoked in the conversation. Hitler, man. Now, anybody that knows anything about logic knows if you make a reference to Hitler to somebody who doesn't have as much power or influence as Hitler, it's called a reductio ad Hitlerum, man. I know it. Go look it up. Reductio ad Hitler. Now, do I think that the shit that Cynthia G says is morally repugnant? Abso-fucking-lutely, man. I made a statement about divestors and their fucking ignorant thought processes on shows on many occasions in the past, some of which the individual has been a part of. I've already had these conversations, but all I'm trying to say is, bro, it's a difference between a chick on YouTube with 100,000 subscribers or more, even 1 million. Let's say it was 1 million. It's a difference qualitatively between a woman who has a platform on social media and a fucking genocidal maniac who controlled the reins of an entire fucking nation state. We're talking about a man who had control over the military, a man who had control over the police force and every bureaucratic institution in that country. He had control over the banking institutions. He had control over the educational institutions. He had control over the legislative institutions and the judiciary. Last but not least, he had control over the media. If you don't agree with what Hitler says, you get put in a fucking gas chamber or a body bag. If you don't agree with what Cynthia G says, what happens to you, man? I'm just saying, I'm not defending this chick at all. I'm just saying, man, do not give this chick the magnified status of somebody that's really important when she's just a weave hat wearing chick on YouTube, bro. She's not a factor. I don't understand what guys don't get about this. When I said those things, because I didn't agree with the faulty logic associated with it, and go look up reductio ad Hitlerum. It exists, man. When you compare somebody who doesn't have the power or status of Hitler to Hitler, and to say that a quality that one possesses means that they're just like the other, it's a reductio ad Hitlerum, man. And it's oversimplification and a whole bunch of other logical fallacies. So at any rate, all I'm saying is, man, I'm not going to abandon logic and truth. I agree with the sentiment and the disgust that he has, but I'm not just about to suspend reason and logic in order to get to the conclusion that you're trying to reach. Now, personally, I think her being deplatformed is too easy. If you ask me, she need to go through truth and reconciliation like the fucking South Africans or the motherfuckers in Nazi Germany for real. And she needs to sit on panels where people are telling her how fucking wrong she is. Not just people on YouTube. I'm talking about like professionals to explain to her how stupid the shit she was saying is. And to go herself and to fucking say how wrong she was, go on a fucking tour, apologizing. But you know what we did? What was done? She's been made a martyr. So it's more black women right now on social media spaces saying abort black male babies. So you done cut off one head and it's been replaced with two like the head of Hydra. So I don't know how anything I said became an indictment against my will to fight against shit that I feel is morally repugnant. I don't get it, man. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, how could you take my words and twist them? But that just reminds me of the poem, If you can keep your head about you when all around you are losing theirs and blame it on you.
Shout out to Kipling. But yeah, this sounds like that kind of stuff probably should have been discussed behind the scenes instead on the platform, because those are strong opinions that were thrown out there. So,
and look, I'm partially responsible for bringing the shit out into the fore.
Right.
Okay. Now, but I'm just saying this: you'll never find me on another man's platform telling him in the Manosphere that he's the reason why niggas are fucked up in the Manosphere. I dare you to go anywhere and find me saying some shit like that to any guy on his platform specifically. You'll never see me doing no shit like that. Especially with people I consider to be my brethren, man. So yeah, that shit, it got on my fucking I'm already on edge.
Right.
Well, could I have contacted the man privately? Yeah, I could have. And I really actually believe that the dude was concerned about what the fuck was going on in my life, because he kept messaging me, telling me little things like, nigga, you good? So this is a misunderstanding and some shit taken way too far. But I did get offended just like he got offended.
Right. Right.
And the only point I was making is, how can you blame me on us being where we are because of my attitude and me being high-minded, when in actuality, nobody from the Manosphere is, if we talking about Cynthia G, nobody in the Manosphere is responsible for deplatforming this chick, man. Nobody here. It's like so many munchkins in the Wizard of Oz singing "Ding Dong, the witch is dead," but the motherfucker who killed her is Dorothy. Now everybody walking out with their chest puffed out, like they put in that work, like they get the right to wear the title belt for what happened in that instance, when they didn't even step in the ring and throw a punch.
Right.
And so my question is, how can you dare assault my fucking integrity and everything I'm going through or been through, and say I'm the reason why everything is fucked up in the world with us, because I won't fight low and Cobra Kai, kick a bitch in the knee or something?
You know, I think that if I mean, going, looking back, I think if the conversation was taking place behind the scenes, I think there would be more explanations and things of that nature. I think sometimes when we start doing things live or on platforms and things, that things get lost, especially when because you had a panel, right? It was different people there.
Look,
so things get lost, man.
Look, like I said before, man, I think that the sentiment of what the guy was pushing for, it was a panel full of people. I think his disgust is warranted. With what the woman has said, I think it's warranted.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But just because, like if you say something that I know that is like erroneous, or I think you're engaged in fallacious reasoning, I think it's my job to tell you. I'm not trying to hate on a motherfucker. I'm not trying to say, let's play kid gloves with the chick. I think she's insignificant to me.
Right.
That's just my opinion. Some people want to puff her up and think that she's like the biggest thing since sliced bread. It's creating, like a whole sentiment of genocide. And I'm like, well, shit, like the genocidal thoughts of black women, they're fucking omnipresent.
Right.
Shit, I mean, that's just one vocal expression. Now, should it be suppressed to a certain extent? That's on you. If you think like, it's good to suppress free speech, go ahead and do it, even if it's hateful speech. I'm just saying hate speech is protected by the First Amendment in the United States, man. It just is. If you want to wear a Nazi uniform, you can do it. If you want to wear a swastika or a fucking hood and a white robe, you are allowed. Now, it might draw, some weird looks, but that shit is protected by the First Amendment.
Understood, black man. Understood.
Now, I'm not here to say that I agree with what everybody says in the public sphere. It's nonsensical to think that I would do that. It's crazy to think that I would do that. I've already made declarative statements about what I think about individuals who hold those kind of positions and views. I've been there. So now it's all called into question because, like we ought to start hurting and flagging them. They playing dirty. We played. And I'm saying, bro, are they really playing dirty? They set up a system that benefits them and works to the kind of tactics that they use. The tactics they use are, I'm going to tell on you, 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 I'm going to get my dad, I'm going to get my mom, I'm going to get my dad. That's the sort of shit they do, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell on you, I'm going to tell on you, I'm going to report you to the authorities, like so many Karens and shit. Like, how do I want to live my life constantly telling on motherfuckers like, I'm gonna tell on you, I'm gonna tell on you, I'm gonna tell on you, I'm gonna get you disrupted, I'm gonna let them know. and look, that's all I'm saying, man. She didn't start this process. Is she a fucking idiot? Yes. Is she tasteless? Of course she is. I just don't know how all of a sudden me being honest and open about what's real and what's unreal, what's possible and impossible, what's legal and illegal. I don't know how all of a sudden all of that became an endorsement, like I'm fucking like running a campaign or a public service announcement for fucking supporting the shit this ignorant chick is saying. How? Talk about logical fallacies, Batman. I don't get it. But I took the video down, dog, because you told me to take it down. Did I go a little further than I probably should have? Yeah. I mean, you know, the dude roast was funny, though. I mean, look, if you can't laugh at yourself, what can you laugh at? Your laughter should first start with you. That's a fact.
You wasn't on the oil, were you, dog?
Huh?
You wasn't on the oil, were you, dog?
Man, I was on the Q oil, dog. And I ain't drinking 4 years. I haven't had a drink in 4 years, bro. So, look, I'm not trying to besmirch anybody's reputation or hurl shit at nobody. I just felt like, God damn, bro, how can you blame me when I'm just trying to articulate the facts, man? Now, I'm just saying, look, if we were to go to a body of politicians, scholars, and a whole host of other individuals in order to plead our case on why someone like this needs to be removed from YouTube or why this kind of speech is morally repugnant and it needs to be banned, we definitely can't go in saying that the shit is the same as yelling fire in a public theater, because it's not.
Right.
One is illegal, the other is protected by the Constitution. No matter how distasteful or fucking evil or morally repugnant it is. One is illegal because it has the potential to create immediate or imminent threats to public safety. That's why it's illegal. And the other, although it might cause harm in the long run and create, you know, like tension and death and derision, it's not an immediate kind of, you know, impact, or it's not an immediate threat to public safety. That's why the framers of the Constitution and judges and shit like that, they uphold it as a principle. So at the end of the day, bro, I've been saying it. I said it about Kanye. I said it about Chappelle. I said it about black men. And ultimately, at the end of the day, all I said was, look, I'm not really a guy who like thinks that we should go about the business of like flagging everybody we disagree with. But look, I'm not going to defriend you or unfriend you because you do. I'm not going to distance myself from you and say, hey, man, you can't do that. And if you the extent to which you do that, this is why we are where we are. I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to say is, bro, if that's your value system, if that's how you feel, if that's what you think ought to be done, get busy about doing it. If you believe that a field of trees ought to be chopped down, and I'm ambivalent about them being chopped down, well, the onus is on you, not me, to go and chop down them fucking trees. And it's just an analogy. It's not an exact, it's an analogy. It's a metaphor. If you want something done and you feel like strongly that it ought to be done, then puts forth some effort to do what it is you want done. That's all I'm saying, bro. This is not about condemning anybody or like trying to, you know, hurl shit at anybody. All I was trying to do was have a fucking intellectual debate, and it devolved into something much different than what it should have been. And I'm not going to show disgust or contempt or start finger pointing at none of the men in this space on their own platforms to start yelling and telling them what the fuck they got to do in their own house. I'm definitely not about to do that. And I dare any of y'all, man, to see instances or occasions where I've gone into somebody else's house and put my feet all over their fucking couch and told them, I'm a PhD. Stop talking because I'm talking. In fact, I do the opposite. I tell you, fuck my PhD. How many times have you heard me say that in this space? Fuck a PhD.
Yes.
BGS, come on, no. We got to afford you the proper respect. Fuck that. Because let's say we're in the frat house, right? All the titles disappear, correct, during the meet?
That's right.
Except for the elected officials. Don't matter if you got a PhD, ain't nobody calling you doctor, you the brother. Right?
No big eyes, no little U's.
Brother Nustel, what's cracking? That's it. There is no Professor Nustel.
Right.
It's what's up, team? What's up, dog?
Right.
So that's how
80-year-old people call me dog sometimes.
But I mean, you get the picture. I've never thrown my PhD around like, oh, I'm all smart and shit. I've never been uppity with my degree in this space. But damn, man, can you give me the benefit of the doubt, man, and understand that my motivations are sincere, man, and I don't want to see us fucking lose?
Yeah, I hear the
Now
passion,
all of a
dog.
sudden I done turned into a motherfucker who want to see us lose and shit, who endorses and supports genocidal logic against us. Talk about flipping the script, man. Holy fucking cow, man. I'm like, what the fuck, man? But anybody want to come in and weigh in, man, I'll give you the opportunity, man. If you got something else you want to say to me, or I know you're under time constraints, but you wanted me to say something. And you also wanted me to take that video down. So I did what you asked.
Can you hear me, dog?
I can hear
Can
you
you hear
now.
me? Oh man, I've been talking the
hear
whole
you.
time.
I ain't heard shit you said, bro.
I guess man, could I have my headset on and get my headset is trash.
Yeah,
But
you're
you
Borging
even
and everything
mentioned
else, man. You're Borging.
I'm trying to get
Incomprehensible, man. Incomprehensible, unintelligible, man. I have no idea what you're saying.
Let me get out of here. How about now?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I hear you now.
A lot of tree. Okay, it's big trees around here. I think that's what's going on. But yeah, I've been saying things. I'm like, can he hear me?
No, I couldn't, brother. I'm
Nah,
sorry,
man.
man. I couldn't hear you, dog.
Nobody can hear you, Art.
Okay. But I was saying for sure, you laid everything out or whatever, let the chips fall where they may. But at the same time, people have to make choices for themselves. And I think probably everybody probably would agree with me that's listening. We're just waiting to see what you're going to do moving forward and what other materials that you're going to present to us. I think that's it, man. I don't see it going any. These stuff don't even have legs, man. It don't.
Look, I feel like the whole thing has been silly from the fucking beginning.
Right.
Like that's just my personal opinion, and that because I got real shit going on. You know what I'm saying? And so, did I take it a little overboard myself? I can acknowledge that.
It means you're human,
You
dog.
Huh?
That means you're human.
I acknowledge that. Okay. But at the end of the day, like I felt like, damn, you're trying to delegitimate my whole fucking goddamn platform. You're telling me I'm the reason why we are where we are. It's here. This right here. Imagine me telling that to any of y'all, man, especially on your own platforms, bro. I mean, express yourself, man, and express your disagreement. But damn, come on, man. Like, that's a low blow, man. That's hitting the nigga in the dick, man.
I'm dead.
What's happening, GG?
What's happening? That's how I felt about it, bro. I'm like, and I didn't feel that way initially, but upon reflection and hearing it, and I played it more than one occasion. I was like, damn, dude telling me to, he's loud talking, getting smug and shit with me. I'm like, dude, what did I do to deserve that shit, man? And maybe it was the fact that I brought BGS on the panel, and I know that there was some tension between some of the things he thought and BGS thought. Maybe that was the reason why. Mm-hmm. And I didn't look. All I want is to resolve conflict, not to dig deeper into it. So if it's the case that we got to keep our distances or whatever the case may be, it is what it is, man. But my pet peeve is a man trying to force me to do something that I haven't agreed to do. That's my pet peeve. My pet peeve is a man directing me. Especially, it's different if, you know, like I'm at work and I'm there from the neck down and somebody's telling me this has to be done because there's a hierarchy there that's already present and I know where I'll fall within the hierarchy is underneath this director or X, Y, and Z. Then I got to do what they say. But it's not a personal thing. It's just business. But in my personal life or like my political life or my moral life, somebody dictating what I got to do, bro. Come on, man. You can't tell me that I got to do that, man. Or that like I'm fucking up. I'm helping us lose. Like that's like we on the same basketball team. And you like, nigga, you fucked up the play, dog. This nigga, you a bum, man. You need to get off the squad. Come on, man. That's how I took it. Now I might have took it wrong, but that's how I took it, bro. And I'm saying, damn, man, what like, you know, I've been here, I've been like in conversation with various dudes, man, and what would give anybody any indication that I'm gonna support black male genocide, man?
Yeah.
I think the outcome. Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You know, when that took place, I even talked to Keep It 100 about it. But soon as I asked Tiajon Johnson and BGS to tell you to take the video down, and I talked to 100 about it. I said it wasn't about you; it was about everything other than you. Why I wanted the video taken down because there were things that you said. I don't know if it was because of Bono or whatever it was, but I felt like I had to tell them for you to take that video down. And I said one of the major things, because I pay attention to what each one of you say, and I agree with your opinions. I told them that y'all tend to talk from a different perspective that can screw up a conversation because y'all, if y'all sat down and said, hey, this is the perspective we're talking from, and if we can stick to this, we can have a conversation evolve into something. But if we start off the conversation and both of our perspectives are true, but we're talking from a different one, we're never going to get anywhere. It's going to always, and I told him I see the tension happening in y'all lives plenty of time to where it's cool. Like, okay, I just want to.
But it never got to the point, even though there was this, I think it's disagreement is healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it is.
But what I'm saying is it's not actually
Leon, can I finish what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I know you want to finish your statement, but all I want to say is I think the tension, like different perspectives are okay.
Yeah.
But when it boils down to saying to a man, nigga, you the reason why we failing, bruh. That's where I say there's a line that has to be drawn, man. Because I would never do that. I would never do that to him on his show, or even I wouldn't even do it to him. Right? Oh, you know, like while we conversing to each other.
Hey, Green Gorilla, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question? Who gets to make the rules? I mean, I think I would agree with you because you're talking about code. Like, what's the code of discourse amongst grown Black intelligent men? That's what you're really talking about. It's not about disagreement, because smart, brilliant men will disagree. The question is, what's the code of conduct amongst those men? That is what is lacking in this environment.
Stray cats.
Look, man, look, I feel you, Grinch. Look, I got sauced up and I went napalm. Okay, I can admit that, dog. I did that. Okay, I admit it. I acknowledge it. I apologize to y'all if I haven't done it. I shouldn't have went that fucking, deep off on the end, but I felt slighted when the guy wouldn't communicate with me and, wanted to basically say, I interrupted him when he asked me he didn't ask me a rhetorical question. He asked me, the kind of question that, either, you say a yes or no to. You know what I'm saying? So, and then he said, you interrupted me. Fuck it. I'm going to go to my platform. I'm like, dude, spill the beans, man. Just give it to me straight. Fuck the bullshit, man. Fuck all the theatrics. Holler at me. What's the deal, man? And I agreed to do it publicly. Because he felt like, okay, you disrespecting me publicly, so nigga, I gotta go in on you. And I get it. If that's the code you operate by, bro, I get it. I understand you felt slighted, so you felt like you had to slight me. I get it. So it is what it is, man.
That was another. That was another thing I brought up when people ask, you know, direct questions, and it's like we naturally want to, you know, add emphasis or ideas onto it instead of just answering the question, then getting to the conversation. I told talk, and I said I see where the tension comes from because it's like you're asking me a direct question. So is it to answer the question, then put the ideas on top of it, or is it just to go back and forth? Because you know,
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
what black men tend to do, this isn't the case for all of us. I didn't see the entirety of the live stream, but this is a running theme amongst most black men generally, is that we tend to not answer questions directly to attempt to obfuscate or or mislead. And it's not I don't even think it's conscious for most black people, but it
Yeah, that's
is
what I'm
something that we
asking.
do.
Because I answer a question, but I want to add the nuance after. Like, I don't care if it's a question that's a no or yes. I'm gonna answer it, but I'm gonna add nuance after. And if the nuance isn't respected, then I'm just not gonna have a conversation. If you're just gonna ask me a yes or no, and that's all that it leads to. But if there's no nuance afterwards, then it's not worth the conversation to me because they're just playing a game.
I don't think at the end of the day that's his rhetorical style. That's his style of debating. So I can't take that away from him. If that's what he likes to utilize as a means by which to get some of his points across, fine. Go on ahead, man.
I'm just speaking in general when people do it. Like I just want the conversation to get away from it. I'm willing to say the yes and the no, but what I'm saying, if they don't want to have the nuanced conversation, then it's no reason to have it. Like
Well,
if
there's
they're going to
supposed to
allow
be a
that
grant.
after.
Well, I think part of the motives is some, you know, what was that great phrase in the Dark Knight movie? You know, some of us, you know, want to just let things burn. I think that brother wants to let things burn. Because I have had arguments with that brother for reasons that to this day, I have no idea why I'm quarreling with you. That was not my intent. I mean, I have observed that of him from other men. That I think some of us want shit to just get burned down. And I get that. There is some justification behind that. But understand, I know that's what you're doing. I've been around too long to not know that that's what you're doing.
Maybe. So I would, like I said, I haven't seen the full discussion because obviously you took it down. I only was able to watch the chopped up portion of it and also the portion that I watched on his stream to kind of get some more context. I don't really know what the fuck took place. I got an idea, you know. It sounds like there was a big ass bunch of fire and brimstone in between you and Keep It, unfortunately.
Man, look.
No, the more nuanced and complex your view of things are, the more you're going to get flamed by that problem.
Well, yeah. So I was going to
that's
say,
what I've observed.
I was going to say
that's what I've observed.
I was going to say that, you know, I think that in between you two, you know, I know that you guys have some philosophical differences, and it's observable by the way that you guys discuss these topics, and you kind of angle things on the Short Bus Sundays, and it's been apparent for quite some time. I don't know if you've sussed them out yet. I'm sure you have, and because of that, this sort of type of thing was gonna come to a head at some point where you guys were gonna have to be able to hash these things out and have these discussions in such a way where you could have these differing opinions in a way that was a healthy dialogue. And because y'all never resolved that, I think that's why the blow up happened. That's my opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know, but that's my opinion.
No, I don't look. I think what it was I made a video. That's what it was. I never really get caught up. We always have disagreed and let each other walk on to our each respective places. You know what I'm saying? And we always kept the mutual respect there. but it devolved into something different that day to me. I've never heard him say, "You're the reason why we are where we are, fam. This is why niggas can't get ahead, fam." He never said nothing like that to me. But he did that day. I kind of took umbrage with that.
But I think if you would have, if there was a follow-up conversation between you two, I'm quite sure there would have been some kind of
It should have been. I could have done it, but I'm like, damn.
Hey,
Because I'm quite sure he would have probably like made it, you know, he probably would have had more of a explanation why he said what he said, and men would have been men afterwards. That's the part where I always try to encourage that part to at least something like that. Make sure it's worth the beef. You know what I'm saying? Instead of
But
something
bro,
where it said you.
the only thing I tried to explain was, first of all, it's a difference between promoting free speech and agreeing with anything anybody in particular is saying in the public sphere. That's civics 101, man. Like, to be quite honest, a sophomore in high school should be able to make that distinction. I'm sorry. Now, I know it sounds fucking ignorant and hardy. Like, sometimes I do have the tendency to be hardy or whatever. But I would think that, like, intelligent men can understand that distinction. Like, just because I promote a principle that, like, even allows for, because I think the world would be worse off if it didn't exist. Like, the whole, like, community of people being able to voice their opinions, I think it's worse off if a certain group of people start saying you can't. That's the whole shit Jordan Peterson got into not too long ago, where people were like, you gotta say this. And Jordan Peterson's like, man, don't try to tell me what the fuck I can say. That's the whole debate. That's the thing that made him famous, was standing up for his ability, to promote the norms associated with free speech. That's the thing that, like, kind of promoted it and put him on the trajectory that he is. Now, I'm not saying I agree with everything Jordan Peterson says, but I do agree with that. Because as soon as you open up the door, you're opening up Pandora's box. And you don't know where it'll end. And we've seen throughout history people who've been censored for, like, erroneous reasons. So that's the first thing I tried to do, was to, say I'm against people being told what they can and what they can't say in general, even though I might not agree with or hate what they say. Secondly, I said, hey, bro, look, the kind of speech that's being said, it can't be like what we're talking about. It's not the equivalent of yelling fire in a crowded theater, because one is against the law, the other is protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution. The reason one is illegal is because it creates an imminent public threat. It's a public safety issue. Somebody can get stampeded, trampled on, or some shit like that. That's why it's illegal. And the other is protected. So it's a difference. No, it's not. I'm like, bro, okay, man, whatever. Then it went to, this bitch is Hitler. I'm like, wait a minute, how the fuck did we get to this? And usually when people invoke Hitler, it's a definite movement away from being able to, use reason as opposed to emotion. Because Hitler, just mentioning that motherfucker invokes what? All kind of, disgust and, opinions. It derails the conversation. So I'm like, okay, man, whatever, bro. It's done, man.
Man, there's a lot there. There's two things I want to speak to, if that's okay with you, man. There's two things in particular. The first thing is that when it comes to these sorts of discussions about inflammatory rhetoric in people and disagreements involving them in between men, I think we need to bring up a no tolerance policy for disrespectful discourse, because unfortunately we have a very real tendency as Black men to attack one another when we have deep disagreements with one another, knowingly or unknowingly. That does happen often. Not only in this space, but just in really the Black populace at large. That's just a thing that we do.
Dick measuring contest.
Right. And it does filter into this internet beef bullshit. It's a problem. We got to address that within ourselves and collectively when we start to have these conversations on the internet as well. And that way have an impact on the way that we deal with one another in real life. Hopefully. Never know. That's just a hope. Crossing my fingers. So that's number one. Number two, when we start to talk about, you know, the comparisons to Hitler, sometimes they can be valid. I don't know what the entire subtext of that was. If we're talking about Cynthia G, there is some cross-reference points to Hitler there. There are. They're unavoidably
The
there.
thing is the genocidal logic. That's better than the argument. I think at least making reference to Hitler, it's a better argument than one was made equating, you know, the shit she's saying to yelling fire in the theater. Now, this has nothing to do about this chick at all. It's about the arguments you're making about what the chick is doing. Okay? And the only thing I'm saying is, look, bro, I get it. The genocidal logic is present. But the difference between Hitler and Cynthia G is this motherfucker, man, like if you don't do what Hitler say, man, you going to the gas chamber or you're going to get a bullet in your back.
Correct. It's the power. It's the power element, but not the ideology. The ideology's there.
Yeah,
here's my problem with the Hitler. You know, there weren't people being sent to gas chambers prior to the Third Reich. Black women have collectively killed 15, 20, 25 million unborn children. What is Cynthia G proposing that has not already been done?
Yeah, but I think that's the whole point.
I mean, what is she calling for that has not already been done to the magnitude of millions upon millions?
Yeah, and
that's my whole point, because I literally look at I don't dive into the female spaces or even the Black Manosphere women, but my thing is, as a Black man, I done read and seen everything said before, and that shit doesn't bother me. So y'all never seen me pop up on Cynthia G's channel or any of those. I heard that one thing she said, I said, never supporting it. I don't support the women anyway, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot, Mark, because I'm hearing this again. You know, I'm not in his head or anything, talking about Brother Marcus, but if I was a betting man, I think he probably meant figuratively instead of her being Hitler literally. You know, like the way that she thinks, the way that she wants things to happen to black boys as though they're going into concentration camps. But I'm not sure if he felt that she had enough power like this dude. But I
get
think
it. That's why I said I would be more
charitable. But you don't mention Hitler because of what you fear her power will be. You mention Hitler to guilt trip Green Gorilla. That's why you mention Hitler. You meant because once you introduce Hitler to any discussion where someone else is on the other side of that debate, automatically you made that person a villain by proxy.
I think it's just important for him to explain why he utilized that instead of sitting here having our own opinions on why he said it. Like, that's just how I see it. I don't give a fuck about
Let me just show you. Look, I just want to show you this, and I'm gonna be done with it. Look, the thing is, I give it charity only up to the extent to which I can agree that the shit that Cynthia G says is a genocidal logic. But I said as much myself. I already said it. I said this shit is genocidal logic. I think it's morally fucking repugnant. I think it's ridiculous. I said it I got a show strictly dedicated to divestors, explaining why I think the shit is morally repugnant, and it really actually boils down to self-hate. I said it. You feel me? Like, it's not like I haven't articulated these ideas in other areas and avenues. And the strange shit about it is many of you were present when I was saying it. But now, since I say, okay, I'm an advocate of free speech, then there's this conflation going on, meaning, okay, you're opening up space for this bitch to talk, which means you opening up space for this bitch to yell fire, or opening up the space for us to get killed. That's why I said it went too far. Now you're saying I'm advocating black male death by proxy. That's the issue I had with it. That's the only I said it's going too far.
I think
Okay.
though, Gigi, can you hear me? I think the issue is when you stop supporting Cynthia G, everything will be cool.
Nobody's supporting.
Hey man, that's a hey man, yeah, man, you full of shit, bro. Hey, look. A reductio ad Hitlerum, also known as playing the Nazi card. It's an attempt to invalidate someone else's argument on the basis that the same idea was promoted or practiced by Adolf Hitler or the Nazi Party. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, ultimately, look.
Let's
The
replace
thing
him
is,
with America. Shit, he learned it from us.
anybody, if he, I think that, you know, Black Uhuru is right to a certain extent. I don't think he did it to, I don't think he knowingly did that to try to derail the conversation, but he might have. I don't know. I don't know what enough. Because I know I don't know everything, I'm not going to hasten to judgment and assess the inner springs of this motherfucker's actions. Anybody who can do that, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what another motherfucker's thinking, man. But I mean, all I'm saying is it's called the appeal to emotion fallacy. Where, you know, like you say, fuck reason now. I feel this way so deeply. And I'm like, bro, that's my pet peeve. My pet peeve is a motherfucker telling me what I got to do. That's my pet peeve. Or
As best I could tell.
Or telling me how I have to feel. Or else. Like, bro, like, like, we ain't syncing up menstrual cycles in this motherfucker, dog. If a Negro don't want to do some shit, I'll holler at you, bro. That's why me and my partner was about to get into it. This nigga telling me what we about to do. I'm like, man, look here, bro. You about to do that shit. I'm about to do what the fuck I'm gonna do. You want to stay here, dog? Fine with me, bro. You drove the car. Now you don't want to drive back to the motherfucking hotel. I'll walk back to the fucking hotel. It ain't that far away. So I walked back. He got pissed off that I did what the fuck I wanted to do. I told you, nigga, I'm doing what I want to do. You can't make me do shit. I'm grown. Like, you know, the little young dude, I'm the daddy. I'm grown. I'm grown. Can't tell me where the fuck I'm about to go or what I'm about to do. That's a pet peeve of mine. It's been one, man. Now, if you're, like I said, if you're a leader, you know, like you're a boss at my job, if you come to me respectfully, you know, like, hey, we need you to go ahead and grab X, Y, and Z and so, and we need for you to abide by policy A, B, or C, good, I'm going to do it. But come on, man, don't tell me what I got to do. That's a pet peeve, man. No grown, especially a partner, a friend. You can suggest what I ought to do or what I could do, but I'm not gonna try to humiliate you or tell you, nigga, you fucked up, nigga, for thinking like that. That's some bullshit, nigga. I'm not gonna do my homie like that. But I will tell that nigga, man, step the fuck up off me, bro. Don't tell me what I gotta do. I will tell one of them, huh?
I said, and that's fair. I think where the interplay and the conflict comes in is that unfortunately both of you guys failed on the conflict resolution portion of that. Not just you, not just him. I think you both failed because he did in fact initiate it unknowingly. I do acknowledge that.
Well, why did Green Gorilla fail?
Why is this like? Why would this be?
Why did Gigi fail? Why did Gigi fail?
By virtue of the responses, by virtue of the inflaming of the tensions. That's how that's how they both failed on this. Especially that's not conduct.
Let me say this.
Wait. That's not conduct that you engage in with people that you profess to be your friends. That ain't it. So I think that you guys.
I mean, from what I've observed, PK. Because here's the thing, PK. I mean, I've observed his engagement with other men who attempt to proffer any complex analysis of issues. That appears to me to be sort of a standard way of dealing with issues that he disagrees with. He attacks. He, in a rather inflammatory way, he mischaracterizes what has been presented. Now, maybe GG might not have engaged him in kind. If I were to offer a critique, I would say from my observation of him, he got from Gigi what he wanted, and that was, I'm gonna get this nigga mad. That's what I observed.
I just think he's an emotional
No,
speaker.
and I only say that because I've observed him do the same thing with BGS. I've had the same experience with him myself personally. That is a thing he does.
Well, look.
That's what I've observed.
Look, so we're not gonna turn this into, like who did.
Well, I'm just saying, if we're gonna have this talk, if we're gonna talk about it,
Marcus is provocative, man. He provokes. Like,
yes.
like, I mean, the nigga says he's petty. He say eloquently petty. He tell you he petty. Okay?
I mean, you're basically confirming what I've already said.
So he's provocative, man. I don't have a problem with provocation up to a certain limit. I think it's healthy. I think you should, to some degree, be provocative. But to me, it just went beyond the realm of good taste. And look, all I'm saying is, man, like, anybody knows, man, when you talk to me, for the most part, if you're being reasonable, if you're being respectful, have you ever noticed me being on anybody's fucking platform just going off on niggas on random?
A nigga MOT.
But MOT came to me with some bullshit.
That was justified.
I'm joking. I'm lighting up everything, guys.
The man came at me with a whole bunch of shit about how I'm grifting, how this nigga's a fuck nigga, and this bitch ass nigga, these whole ass niggas. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, come on, man.
That was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that.
These people didn't have a.
Show me, demonstrate to me where I'm being confrontational and I'm being arrogant and ignorant with Negroes in the Black Manosphere on anybody's panel. Go.
Hey, man, you cussed me out that one time when I was asleep, bro.
When you was asleep, you deserve to get cursed out if you snoring or some shit.
I was sleeping. It was a dream, bro.
Hey, bro, look, all I'm saying is, find for me the various moments in which you see me being insulting, where I'm pointing fingers at, or being discouraging to anybody else, or like delegitimating their thoughts and saying what you think is stupid. Find for me the place on YouTube while I'm on somebody else's show or on a panel doing that type of fucking engaging in that kind of behavior. Go find it. Like I said before, there's been times when I've entered people's panels and they're like, oh, it's Gigi. Bruh, stop that shit, man. Cut it out. I'm ready to meet you on your merits and you on mine. Stop all that shit, man. All this doctor worship shit, fuck it. I'm cool with that. But don't just, at the end of the day, man, it did get tasteless on both our parts. I probably, I'm the one who initiated some of the tastelessness on my own. I could have went to the nigga. I didn't. But I felt like, damn, I felt slighted my fucking self. You on my platform telling me, nigga, we ain't talking about this no more. Move on to the shorts, nigga. I'm like, damn, for real? Come on, dog. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Like, you'll never find me saying, like, if he want to talk about any man on any panel, if I'm there, I'm present, I'm going to indulge the nigga to a certain extent. I'm going to do it. Because that's his shit. It's his house. If I'm in your house, man, I'm going to do what you asked me to do. I ain't going to say you got to genuflect and no shit like that. But I do understand it's your spot. I ain't going to blow up your spot. Even if I disagree with you, I'll be like, man, I'm in disagreement with that point. But it's cool though, bro. Hey, it is what it is. And even that day I said, look, man, I'm not trying to, I don't believe in ideological purity. Like, go listen to the shit. Go listen to it. Every step of the way, I try to, the horse is dead though. So it's done, man. It's done. It's over. I'm not talking about this shit no more after the day. I don't care if y'all talk about it. I don't care who else talk about it. I don't care if it's another roast video or motherfuckers got me, in a fucking video with panties on or some shit. You know what I'm saying? With a green gorilla icon on it. I don't care, man. I'm done. I ain't respond to the other shit. Like the nigga dox me. I ain't respond to that. For what? And I admit, I am like the most unintelligent amongst the scholars. So I agree with that. And I dare say I'm probably not the most intelligent man amongst most of y'all.
You're playing coy. Stop it.
I ain't playing coy. I'm just being honest.
Bro, you didn't get that PhD for no reason.
I don't think
A lot
that's
of
what
work.
he means.
The
training.
PhD came from diligence, not
Yeah, that's not the
necessarily.
same.
He's correct about that. The PhD came from diligence, not necessarily intelligence. It came from me going through a set of steps. Now,
Hey, Green Gorilla, let me
basically what he's saying is like what I get from what he's saying is like when he's having a great show and he reads when a guy's comment and just blasts the guy, and I'm just like, yo, stick to the subject. Fuck that guy in the chat. That's not intelligent to do. It's a waste of time. You're giving somebody that's not worth shit attention. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
I'll say this, man. Maybe as a younger individual, I was smarter than I am now. I mean, you know, I displayed signs of intelligence, you know, above my peers as a kid. But as I got older, I got dumber and dumber. I'll admit that.
I think that's true for all of us.
Well, you know what that looked like to me, Green Gorilla? What it looked like to me?
No, the older
you brought a philosophical
the more you realize.
I think that's what I heard. I heard you bring a very sound, tried and true philosophical, not even argument, but a cornerstone of philosophy. But you brought it to a fist fight, and I think. Remember when you and I had this conversation before? I'm butthurt over it too because you turned me down. I said, well, as black men, what we need to do in the black manosphere, like look at my icon right there, the words below, black male mimetic warfare, aka public relations. Now, between you and Marcus, you guys were talking about different things, in my opinion. That's what I saw.
That's what I keep on saying.
An argument. He's talking about a fist fight. And I think where I do stand with Marcus is that black men in the black manosphere need to take on a bigger, badder, more intense, a more intellectual mimetic warfare campaign that can reshape and rewire and shift the way people think in this world. And you've got a PhD. Dr. T.S. Johnson, you guys have PhDs. You guys are well connected. We got a bunch of black men with microphones that have the ability to change the landscape of the way people think. But you know, all this gynocracy bullshit, we're majoring in the minors. And so what I heard with Marcus is what he was basically saying, bro, we need to be trying to win. And I'm thinking, yeah, we do need to be trying to win, but I don't think in that instance that was a real conversation that you were having. And I would say you were saying by allowing free speech for everyone, it does allow you to win because, and I agree with you, we could be muzzled quicker than anybody. But I think, but out of this, like moving forward, like as black men, I mean, cry babying about what black women are or aren't doing, licking our wounds because, you know, these crazy bees out here, that shit got to come to an end at some point. And we start speaking strength in the black men. We start rewiring the way black women think in a way we go, man, we ain't even gonna, you have to be on point to even deal with a black man, and we will trade you in for a different woman in a heartbeat, and all of us just stand on it. But, you know, we got brothers that are soft-hearted and kind-hearted and pro-black to a fault or scared to lay down the law. And I'm saying, like, man, if we just could come together in a way that black men have, like this opportunity has never presented itself where the common black man, you go get yourself a headset and a computer and you can talk to potentially millions of people. And if we got on code in that way, man, it started bossing up. I mean, that's how we should be trying to engage in a fist fight out here instead of Keisha bashing. And I think to me, that's what it looks like to me is that we're not trying to necessarily win out here. We're trying to get a few, you know, a little beer money. And, you know, Kevin Samuels made it, you know, but look what it did to him. But I think more than anything, if we got on code together and really started speaking strength in a black man, a guy like yourself with a PhD who's credentialed, man, you've got the ability to move mountains out here, Green Gorilla.
Hey, bro, look, stop. This is the thing that fucks me up, right? I've heard it said by many men in this space that, like, people, I don't want to name any names, but the whole idea that, you know, there's the suggestion by some that, like, what we do here influences the public sphere and actually gets shit done, right? I've heard that claim. But then I've heard other men say, you niggas talking, man. You niggas ain't really moved the needle on progress, man. Motherfuckers taking credit for some shit that they ain't even put the effort and energy into. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, look, bro, my viewpoint on it is this, man. Look, have I engaged in Keisha bashing to some degree? Hell yeah, I have.
Me too.
Especially if Keisha needs to be fucking bashed. If Keisha out here doing some shit she ain't got no fucking business doing, then I'm gonna say, if I go for a layup and Keisha comes behind me like Matumbo trying to block my shot, we on the same squad, I'm gonna say, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're fucking up. You understand? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, it's a high percentage of men in the black manosphere, in case y'all don't know it, was raised by Keisha, has made children with Keisha. Keisha was his sister. Keisha works in the HR department. How do you just conveniently separate black men from Keisha?
My whole thing,
Good luck with
that.
that.
Look. So my whole thing is this, and I don't want the conversation to devolve. We've been on here like for
I was about to
hour and
go
30
in.
minutes,
I ain't gonna lie.
I didn't expect to be on here this long. I expected to say my piece and to burn out, not to be pejorative, not to slander or throw any mud towards that dude way. Like, I'm done with this shit, man. Like, after the night, ask me, email me and tell me what the fuck you want me to talk about, and I'll talk about that. But from all I know is, bro, like,
I'm gonna email you.
Is the only thing I felt, and I'm just saying what I felt. Fuck what I know or the argument I made. I felt like the man was coming after my character by telling me, this is why we can't win. That it's like to me, it's like, damn, dog. That's like you being on the team, like we at the Q's, you like, we the bros or some shit, and it's like, okay, we at the party in a groove or whatever, and it was like, this nigga right here, man, this nigga the reason why the fucking party fucked up, or the brugged up why these hoes ain't fucking with the bros.
Hold on.
Hey, Green Girl, let me say this to that.
Wait,
don't take that too seriously, because I honestly thought that was good to hear, Green Gorilla. I thought that was good to hear, because nobody here, and you know, I talk my shit. Y'all know that, but I still like you, Green Gorilla. Don't worry about that, right? It's all good.
Thank you.
But when I heard that, you know what I said? I go, he ain't wrong. Yeah, he's being petty. Yeah, he's throwing a little dirt on your name, but he ain't all the way wrong, though. And don't get that confused with him like throwing dirt on your name with him necessarily trying to tear you down, because he's making a bigger point that niggas out here really don't want to win. And I'm not saying you don't want to win. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that. I don't think he was saying that either. What I think he's saying, though, in the bigger point, like, that mentality is why niggas lose.
No,
and if we hold it up together,
that's not what he's saying. Look, I know exactly what Marcus is saying, bro. You don't know what Marcus is saying.
I know what he's saying.
Marcus is saying, you're taking the high road.
Yeah.
They're taking the low road, but we don't want to meet them on the low road and smack their ass and do the same shit they do to us. And because that, we don't fucking win. Because you won't fucking say, let's punish these bitches.
He's right. That's the thing.
We're not in
you get George Bush. He's the head of the CIA. What did he do? He started carpet bombing the Middle East. Why? Because that's what you do to win. Man. Why are we supporting Israel? Not because we give a fuck about the Jews.
Yeah, leave that conversation out of here. Leave that conversation out of here, bro.
You're going too far with that.
Leave that conversation out of here. Don't bring that shit in here, bro.
We're not doing that.
Do not.
Truth, man.
You get my point.
Look, truth, man. Can you be quiet for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, all I'm trying to articulate is this, bro. I know how to get nasty, and to do some fuck shit. I know how to do that. But I'm saying to get nasty and doing fuck shit, really, like, I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, think about what would actually have to happen if we operated under the same shit that these bitches are doing. We have to start calling in HR departments and getting bitches jammed up from their jobs. And niggas typically, they just don't do that, not because they got a winter soldier chip, but that's not how they engage in battles with people, man.
Oh, well, that's my
Yeah,
point.
we weren't.
agree.
We weren't.
Bro,
That's
let
my
me
point.
talk
We
to
need
you,
to agree.
man.
We
Niggas-
need to go.
when
We need to have a
niggas
different
get-
type of battle.
When niggas get into a fucking problem, they smash shit. They don't go
Yeah.
telling motherfuckers that this nigga said or he did this.
Do you got a PhD?
Well,
Yes. Do you understand niggas? Yes. Why don't you
Hey,
merge
bro,
the two
look,
together
look.
and make
I can tell you.
and make
I
a
can tell you like
world-class
this.
Bro, look, I
playbook
gotta
for
put you
niggas
on
to
mute, man.
follow.
I gotta put you on mute, bro.
I,
Please.
I think you're going to the extreme because it's like saying that, you know, we have to get all guys to be on the same page or be SYSBM. It's not realistic. Plus, you haven't been trained to go out and snitch. That's why niggas still sell drugs in the hood and do all type of wild shit because we're not trained to do that.
But
We don't even
most
believe
niggas-
in it
look,
Creative
truly.
an idea. It's called an
look,
idea.
man, you gotta be
I,
quiet.
I,
Bro.
I understand.
I mean,
Like-
look, I can't allow you to be the biggest voice. Like this is one of the issues I had with the whole issue to begin with. But like, I mean, ultimately, look, man, I don't demand that anybody agree with me or that anybody, you know, like take what I say for granted. And that's one of the reasons why I like the nigga.
I ask more of you, and then you mute.
Wait a minute,
Thanks,
man,
bro.
bro. Can you truth, man? Please show some restraint, bro.
You can't come on and hijack the fucking panel. You're
Man,
holding
shut
us
up.
hostage.
It's between me and Green Gorilla. Just shut your whole
You
ass
see what
up.
I mean? You see
What in the world?
you see what I mean?
Oh man, come on, man. Look,
Nah,
okay,
so
so
go
look,
ahead,
I'm
Green
about
Gorilla.
to-
So if it's fuck me,
yeah,
it's
you
fuck
can
you.
come up,
That's
Zan.
how it's gotta
Yeah,
be.
you can come up, bro.
Bitch
What the
ass
fuck's
nigga.
going
You
on?
coming out here like fuck that. What's wrong with
Guys,
you?
guys, y'all were just talking about
This is an ironic replay of what happened between
Ironic.
Green Gorilla and Marcus.
They were just literally talking about how
Why are you
to
Like now
communicate.
that's where we going.
We
I
can't
don't
do
know.
that.
This is the difference
If
though.
we
I
try
don't
that,
know this
nigga.
guy.
things are gonna
I don't
happen.
know this
Niggas
guy.
cannot. Hey, y'all
be
cannot
fair-
cure
To
yourself
be
with a
fair,
nigga pill,
to
man.
be fair, I don't know this
Look,
guy.
Look.
I don't know who this guy is for real.
You know
So
who
it's
the
like,
hell I
dude,
am.
I don't know. I don't know
Yes,
who
you
you are.
do.
You just
Wait,
a random motherfucker
hold
the
on, guys.
internet.
Hold on,
Who
guys.
are you?
Can I know both of y'all have YouTubes? So can y'all later go to y'all page to have this conversation? It'd be
I
really
don't
great.
want
I'll
to
come
talk
through and
to
listen.
him.
All right, then stop talking to each
I
other.
know. Stop
Let's
bumping
move
them
on.
gums down.
It wasn't about him. What I'm trying to
So,
say is
so, so
bottom
what
line.
we have here is what happened when you don't have a protocol
Thank you.
or code.
Exactly.
We see an example of that demonstrated here, which is what happened between Green Gorilla and Marcus. And like I said, I've had similar encounters with Marcus. Usually I pull back because what is clear to me is that it's not about me. It's about his asserting a particular agenda in a particularly aggressive way. I respect his motive to do that. And I'm not vested in necessarily trying to contradict that, at least in the venues and the encounters that I have with him. But where the code break is that, as Gigi described, man, it's one thing for us to have an agreement and for it to get loud and get contentious. But when you in my crib, nigga, you can get killed in my crib. When you in my crib, you know, at some point, that's where you say, okay, I disagree with this. I don't believe in what you're saying, but you don't misbehave in my crib. And so that's where, to me, the code break occurs, in my view, where I grew
I
up.
100% agree.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zan. I'm sorry. I thought you had the link because you came in earlier, bro. I thought you already had it.
Now, Green Gorilla, I talked to BGS about this.
I don't think you need to talk to
He
anybody
said,
about anything.
now
to be honest.
see, he's in. Why are you popping off like a kid in the back of the class, man?
I just don't know why you keep
So
talking.
I talked to BGS about this. He's like, no, man, no, I talked to you. I've talked to you about this before. And there's something about black male culture where we don't believe that we can seize power in ways as a group that we can seize power. And I think we all know why, because we've been acculturated a certain way. We've been denied things and told we can't do things. But I push back against a lot of that, especially we're in a new era. We've got new technology. And what I'm saying is that if we actually coded up as black men in this black manosphere sector, we literally don't know what we're capable of achieving. And when I'm seeing guys, most of us here have college degrees. Some of us have got PhDs. We're all successful black men. Some of us young black men. If we coded up and use our intellect, who knows what we could achieve? Now that's the road that I'm talking about. That's the road I want to go.
Yeah, like you got a guy right now in the chat that's like, that's some hotep shit. You want all this like the solidarity and togetherness. Like a lot of guys are like, fuck this togetherness shit. This is what kind of puzzles me about the way some of the guys think here. But that's it's a point for another conversation. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to run around the horn and speak. But look, at the end of the day, man, all I want to do is try to, give a defense for myself. That's what the apology means, or the apologia. I don't mind motherfuckers pushing back against anything I say, but I don't like motherfuckers pointing fingers at me saying you're niggas like you are responsible for us being in the shithole that we're in. Because like, if you listen to what we've been saying over the course of the fucking 3 or 4 or 5 years, at least me, I've been trying to detail the myriad ways that we are where we are.
I agree, Gorilla. Let me assure you.
Hold on, bro, please, man. Like, I don't look. I'm gonna give everybody the opportunity to go around the horn and to speak their piece. And
I just wanted to respond to what you were just saying right now, Green Gorilla, in support of what you're saying.
Self-control
is that everybody knows that you were in the right. You got a philosophy degree. You're standing on your position, and you've got an accurate position. So trust me when I say 99% of us wholeheartedly agree with you.
Sam just dropped out. Look, I think most of the men in this space agree with each other on much.
Yeah, the majority.
But the problem of execution is a point of contention, because a lot of guys are like, well, I don't want to move that way. But maybe you don't have to. Like, that's why I say there shouldn't be ideological conformity. When you feel like there's something that a nigga not doing that he should be doing, and you start judging and assessing his character, I don't do that to my peoples, man. Like, if anything, I'm gonna encourage them. I just felt like, damn, dude, you just tried to sun me in my motherfucking own crib, dog. Come on, man, don't do that to me.
Green Gorilla, you have a doctorate.
So what?
You have a doctorate in philosophy.
I agree with Marcus in this regard when he said that shit don't mean shit, and I never threw it around in his face. And I never, like, nigga, I'm the expert, nigga. I'm better than you. I'm smarter.
No, but
you never name for me.
I'm not citing that.
Okay.
I'm not citing that as a point of argument, as a trump card. What I'm saying is that you have a doctorate in philosophy. Everything that you have been training to do has been about discussion, debate, analysis. Query. So to make the argument for someone like you to remove the free speech of another person is antithetical to everything that you trained to do. And I believe because of that, a Marcus or anyone who knows what you are in your venue should respect that. I expect a PhD in philosophy to be open to very complex, rigorous, various debate. And a person who has your background is not going to be given to quelling the free speech of other people. That's not consistent with your training. That's not consistent with your education. And the fact that Marcus doesn't know and respect that gives me pause, frankly.
Again, man, like, you know, like, what I don't want y'all to do is to pile on. Like, I don't move like that crowd move that he fucks with, for real. Like, I don't, like, you know, like where we gonna start talking behind niggas' backs. I'm gonna start calling motherfuckers up and seeing what they should do or how I should respond and all that. I don't move like that. You got a problem with a nigga, you get at that nigga. I don't consult with other niggas before I make moves, unless we gotta move as a team. Okay.
I would just like to.
That's just,
I would like
that's
to.
not how I move, bro. I don't ask niggas how should I handle or, like, you know, how should I approach this. I don't move like that. Like, I let you know directly what I think and feel at the moment. I don't like fucking start going back and forward talking to this nigga like, yo, what you see this nigga do this? No, I don't do that, bro. And exactly, I'm not perfect, man. I'm a human being. I told you before. I shit, I eat, and I pee. Okay, I'm a human being. I have flaws. I have, you know, all kinds of problems right now that I'm on edge. I've been telling you motherfuckers I'm on edge right now. I'm trying to fix up this crib. I just got to paying down there $1,000 to get the gas leaks out of the fucking basement in my crib, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some money, man, I did not want to spend. Then my sister husband, you know what I'm saying? That nigga started acting like, you know, he didn't know who I was. Motherfucker, you used to ask me to go out and smoke with you and fucking drink with you so you can get close to my sister. Now you act like you don't know who the fuck I am.
That's what you call mission accomplished, brother. That's what you call mission accomplished.
They saved $700-800 by staying in her crib, and they got more than enough space. They got like 5 bedrooms in that motherfucker. 5. This nigga looking at me like I'm eating his Cheerios or something. I'm nigga, what the fuck, bro?
Bro, you know what the problem is though, GG, is that you just don't have enough street credit, bro. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Man, look, I'm done with it, bro. Hey, look, hey, man, you want to be a comedian tonight? All right, man. I'm gonna give Art the opportunity to, you know, say something. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, and then, you know, you can be done with it. If you don't want to proffer up anything, that's fine. Art, go ahead, go, man. If you're there, please make a statement, and then, you know, keep us moving. Well, actually, I'm gonna let him go last. I'm gonna let Art go last.
Okay, I'll
So
wait.
I'm gonna let PK go first, man. The weed smoker, toka.
Nah, no more weed, man. But you give me my 2 minutes, I'll be quick. Just from the outside looking in, man, I don't know the intricacies of you and that man's relationship, bro. But if y'all are friends, man, y'all need to patch this shit up if you can. If you can't, cut ties and move on and keep it G. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Friends come around. Sometimes they only good for a season. Sometimes they not. You know, and you move on. You know, when you see them, keep it moving. Hey, what's going on with you? And that's that. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be no more than that. Y'all fell out if that's what it is, and if y'all can patch it up, patch it up. That's how I see it. You know, all the rest of this gangster shit on the internet, it really ain't amount to none of that, to be honest, based on the conversation that I saw take place. So none of that is even worthy of talking about, to be honest. You know, if y'all was gonna get busy, you know, and y'all was face to face, that's a different conversation, but that's not what this was, in my view. The other thing I was gonna say is man, all the rest of this fucking mumbo jumbo swerve bullshit about whatever the fuck this other guy was talking about, man. That's
All
kind
right,
of
we're just gonna cut that off right now, PK,
derailing
because
the
it's going
fucking
over
conversation,
your
man.
tiny head.
I don't understand.
Next.
I don't understand the point of this guy even
Next
discussing things, and I don't understand the point of most of these people having these discussions if they don't actually want to be in the box or bubble that is the quote unquote black manosphere. If you're not on a team, go build your own fucking team. Stop trying to hijack what it is, the things that people here discuss, talk about, and try to work through. That ain't your lane. Go find your own. That's kind of how I see it. But
Okay,
that's
so
just
look,
me.
so look, PK, man, you know I fuck with you. Your time is up, man. I hope I holler at you and catch you on the next rebound, man. Ask me what you want me to do next, man. I'll do it to the best of my ability. Thank you for rocking with your boy and fucking with me and being on the panel today to weigh in on the issue, man. Appreciate you,
All
brother.
right, bro.
All right.
It's Leon Double A's turn.
Okay,
So
so look, yeah, I'm gonna let ZA speak because he keeps getting cut off. So Zan,
Yo, can you hear me?
yes, sir. 2 minutes are yours, man. You can say whatever you want in those
Okay,
2 minutes.
let me pull over. From what I understand, I was stuck in Colorado. It was snowing. I was stuck on a hill, and I went to a hotel. So what I was from the understanding of, he wasn't trying to throw a parade when Cynthia G got her page down. It was kind of like good riddance and shit. And so that's where I feel like I even said like what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, we're not trying to throw a parade or a party, but it's like, man, fuck what that bitch got to say. And that's where I had got that disconnect from you on that part. And then I had brought up earlier a while ago when I gave you your flowers, man. I said, man, you're very informational, very intelligent, and there's some shit that I have to add that I learned from you. And I told my grandpa, and he's 70, still alive, and I gave him some information. I told you, like, when you was talking to May, she came in bad faith, and like all she was up there was just to create like diversion from the real topic. And then you were like, well, it's good to have two opinions. I'm like, in my head, I don't give a fuck about her opinion or these females' opinions who don't have any good intent for men. Because when you put her in a corner and said, hey, this is what men struggle with, and you had all the points that laid out of, hey, this is why this space is around, it was, well, can't we all just get along? And then she had disrespected Dr. Thunder, BGS, you, Dr. T. Henson, and Black Urubu called it out. Like, she just, and Kevin Samuels, she just disrespected and spit on everybody. And then that's when I'm like, see, this is her true color. She's not here to create solution. She's here to create diversion and to create drama. Because I think you asked her, why aren't you over there to the ladies speaking of hatred towards men? Why aren't you over there telling them, can we all get along? And I yield to you, Gigi.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Zan. Like, I'm about to close off the stream.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming by and fucking with your boy, man. Even though you
Yeah.
don't agree with some of the things I say, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
if
gonna remove you now.
Leon
My
Double A.
response to what he just said there is, look, man, I get it. The only reason I had a conversation with May is because she kept fucking around with me in the chat, and I kept going off on her, I think. And then I said, look, one day I'm gonna have a conversation with you where the questions that you ask, and I can begin to try to answer them for you. Did she come in bad faith? More than likely, yes. I mean, a lot of people come and have conversations in bad faith. You know what I'm saying? But, look, it was just some bullshit to do at a certain point in time. It ain't that serious, man. Like, it wasn't the end of the world, me having a conversation with this chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But some guys are just, like, diametrically opposed to conversing with women at all. Like, I think BGS made mention of this. Like, the purple pill spaces are more popular than, like, the straight red pill spaces. Because niggas want to actually, even though they say they don't like these chicks, man, niggas love these chicks, man.
I love these chicks. I love them from Louisiana to New York to LA. Shit.
You know what I'm saying? So having said that, man, I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna let Beef King speak first because he keeps trying to come in, but he keeps getting cut off. So Beef King, man, you got 2 minutes, man. I'm not taking anybody else. I'm not taking nobody else up now. After Beef King, it's a wrap. Beef King, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thanks for having me up. I really appreciate it. So the question about PhDs and all the educated individuals within the space. So we know that the feminists obviously did what they did back in the days, and they end up getting momentum. So I think what I think the truth, as I know it, I think what he was saying is that we have all this intelligence in this space, different walks of life, different educational levels, etc. What would it take for us to band together, to get on code and really push some things through? So people don't say that we're just spinning wheels and just talking, but let's get some things done so we can actually take the credit for it and say, yeah, we have some power, some influence, some clout, and not only are we building businesses, but we're also getting policies changed. What would it take to get all that done?
Okay, well, thank you for the. Is that you want me to answer that? Because we got to close off the dialogue at some point because I'm reaching the 2-hour mark, and I'm hungry as hell, man. I need something to eat, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you wouldn't mind.
So
Yes,
thank
sir.
you, Beef King. I'll answer your question. I really don't have all of the solutions, but one thing I will say is that, oftentimes people don't see the forest for the trees, or they don't really actually acknowledge what's happening in front of their face because it's happening too slowly, for them to be able to register and measure it. And, like if you look at like the feminists, them chicks wasn't all on one accord, man. They didn't all love each other, man. Them motherfucking them chicks, man, them chicks, man, didn't like each other, man. I mean, they was undercutting each other and doing all kind of nasty and underhanded shit to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, but I mean, I think what they did was the feminists infiltrated the higher educational system. That's what they did. And they found a niche there. So the question then is where can black men who, want to jockey and advocate for black men and boys, like where can they find a niche? I can tell you right now, it's going to be very difficult for them to find a niche in the academy because, the academy has become feminized. And not just for black men, it's just that.
It's weaponized against black men.
Yeah, I mean, bruh, why do you think there's like an absence of us in that space? It's not because we don't have the capacity to think, or even in the spaces where we're supposed to be trained and developed to reach that space. There's something going awry in the system to where we don't end up there in good shape. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but anyway, there are people who are, doing things. I'm not saying I am. There are people who are doing work, man, who are really actually advocating for our cause and trying to bring truth to the distortions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Dr. Johnson just wrote a book, man. Who else, man? Dr. Tommy Curry, man, way smarter than I am. Dr. Johnson, way smarter than I am. So, I agree with, Marcus when he says, nigga, you the lesser light. I agree, man. I'm the lesser light, bro. I'm the lowest common denominator, man. I admit it. I mean, he's right. Like, on that, he's right. You know what I'm saying? I'm the dumb one. So, but I mean, I think that there's some shit that's happening. Even the manosphere itself, the presence of it is, even with the divergence of opinions and us yelling and fucking cursing each other out, it's still a positive space, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's still a good spot. It's still a good space. It's a good look, even though we go off on these tirades with each other and resort to nigga shit at times. I mean, some things are happening, man. You know what I'm saying? So having said all that, man, thank you for coming, Beef King, and weighing in. So Leon, would you please offer your opinion, man?
My opinion is this. I'm a leftist, and I sit down and talk to conservatives all the time. Okay? The fact is, when you're in this space, y'all want to argue about your pro-blackness or your conservatism or your leftist views, or if you're SYSBM, we're never going to agree on that. But we literally agree on 6 out of 10 things, guys. Just straight up. If y'all fight over one subject matter, it destroys the whole situation that we could even have. So when you're asking, how can people get something done? Well, you have a list of 10 things from 5 different groups in this space, and 6 of them match up perfectly. That's how feminists get stuff done. And the first part of what the truth is I see it, or whatever his name is. Like I said,
truth is I know it.
Yeah. Like I said, I pay attention to when Gigi and Keep It 100 are talking from different philosophies and perspectives. And I agree with both of them. But if y'all actually want to have good conversations, and this is for everyone, announce what kind of perspective y'all are speaking from before you go to a different perspective. You can't talk about 2 subjects that are right from a different perspective, because they're never going to match up. Okay. That's just reality. They're not going to match up. And you end up having 2 conversations that are true and people disagree with at the same time, but they're not getting that they're coming from 2 different fucking philosophies and perspectives. Talk about the one perspective. Let's stick to this perspective before we move on from anything. Because I like the space because I see black brothers come together. Okay. That's simply why I fucking like this loose cat space. I fucking love it. But if y'all do that, it turns people off. and you look wild, and the white people on the other side talk about your asses, and they take y'all content, and they take all y'all talking points. Okay? So that's all I'm asking. If y'all gonna have conversations with a SYSBM and you might be pro-black, talk from a stance and stick to that stance, both of y'all, until y'all move on to his particular stance. And y'all can have way more productive conversations. We agree on 6 out of 10 things. That's how I look at every single group, no matter if they're fucking just MGTOW, Immore, SYSBM, Passport Bro. It's 6 out of 10 things that y'all clearly fucking agree out of 10. Okay.
Now look, I agree with Rael on this point. But the only reason I yelled at Rael the other day is because I felt like he was kind of egging this shit on. So, but anyway, he says black women don't allow ideology to keep them from working together, especially when the opposition is black men. I agree with that. Like, they don't have to have ideological conformity. Like, they don't have to all think that red is the greatest color. You know what I'm saying? Or there's, her is the best fucking like guitarist recording, or this type motherfucker, or is it Willow Smith or some shit? They don't need to have agreement. They don't have agreement. But one thing they do is I think what they do is they act on the principles that they have. If they have a distaste,
the rewards,
they use what's around
the rewards for black women are usually much more immediate and much more apparent when they operate together, and much more expeditious, and the environment is much more solicitous towards them when they feign operating together. So it's not a valid comparison. You have a society that will celebrate and encourage black women pretending to be on accord, reward them to the detriment, in particular, of black men. So of course I'm going to rally around black women pretending to be together, because I know ultimately I'm sabotaging black men and boys. It's not a valid comparison. Right.
All right, well, go ahead and make your final statement, Black.
And what I would recommend to you, GG, is know the motives of your opponent. See, you can have a debate or disagreement, and you can go into that debate and disagreement in good faith. But if your combatant is not operating in the same or similar good faith, there's no point to even engage it. And so my question would be, regardless of who you're dealing with, whether it's what prompted this particular discussion or any other person, look, you're an educated man, you're a trained intellect. You know that motives and motivations and objectives are very prominent within the criteria in any sort of engagement, in any sort of intellectual engagement for which you enter. I think you and that other gentleman had different motives. I think yours were more complex and more nuanced, and that other gentleman was, let's blow this shit up, let's flame this shit, and you figure out what's going to be left over when it's done.
For sure.
See, some people, some black men think or want to kind of foresee some possible resolution of black people, black community, blah, blah, blah. And we can debate the merits of that. I'm not making the argument yay or nay. And other black men are like, fuck that shit. It's over. And anything you all say or do to the contrary, I'm going to flame your ass too. So when you have these discussions, you need to figure out on which side of that discussion or that debate are you, and what side of that discussion or the debate is that other party. And that should dictate how you proceed. Thanks for having me, Gigi.
Thank you so much, Black Uhuru, for coming on, man. I'll just respond to that. Look, you know, I've been trained to think a certain way, and sometimes that irritates people, and I can see why. I can see why. I mean, you know, most people who think, you know, like, I'm not saying I'm not intelligent like that, but I think I'm rather dumb and clumsy and inarticulate myself, and I don't think I have a great command of the English language. That's how I feel about myself. Now, maybe you might think differently, or maybe you think that, you know, I'm trying to hide my you know, dim-wittedness, you know, behind like a veneer of big words. I don't know how to express myself. I just don't know how, so I do the best I can at it. And sometimes I stumble, and sometimes I make mistakes. I mean, you know, it is what it is, but I do want to say this, though, which is kind of funny, though. I was accused of creating a word, like a neologism. But, you know, like, dude, these are like scholarly articles with the word cancelization in it. I thought I had to leave, you know, at least take a jab with that. Like, cancelization. Cancelization. Let me see. Cancelization. Cancelizations. Let me see. Cancelization. Let's look. Second page. Cancelization. I mean, I had to do that because motherfucker said, "You dumb, man. You trying to make a word that ain't even a word, nigga." And I get it, man. Look, bro. You know, it is what it is, man. Like, even if I do make mistakes, man. Sometimes I say shit that ain't a word, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is, bro. But anyway, man, I'm gonna let the truth as I know it. All right, you ready to go? Okay. Truth as I know it, man. Say your final piece, my dog. Excuse me, my sir.
Okay. 4 things. Number 1, Dr. Green Gorilla, please stop talking down on yourself. I don't believe the shit anyways. Seem like you got a giant ego, and I love it. You're a powerful man, a gifted speaker, very charismatic, hilarious, and intellect, and you run a great podcast. You always have. And as much shit as I talk, like beef I have with, you know, with your partners, you let me up here, and you're always fair. Now, Beef King and Leon, what they said about me, I definitely agree with. I just want to see Black men assert themselves in a way in this space. Like, we got a list in the Black Manosphere of all these microphones, and we're talking to each other. I mean, we have potentially millions and millions and millions of people that listen to us, and we put out these ideas, we put out these memes, and we have an ability to transform the way people think and the way they move in this world. And you know, you keep hitting on something. It's like taking a piece of metal, and you take a sledgehammer and you keep pounding on that sledgehammer, or you keep pounding on that piece of metal. Eventually a dent's going to pop out on the other side, and you don't know where that dent's going to be at, or what it's going to look like, or how big it's going to be, but you just keep pounding away. And the thing is, you hit it on the head, Green Gorilla. Part of this is, like, when I start talking like this, I immediately generally get pushback because Black men aren't used to having these type of conversations in this space with other Black men. So it's like when guys go to the military. If you told, you know, young men in their 20s, meet us on this boat, we're going to send you overseas to go to war, nobody would go over there. Nobody would go to the boat. And if they did, they'd go overseas and die. But what they do is they take you to a proving ground, and they put you on a military base, and they train you, and they make you wear the same things and have the same haircuts, and then they isolate you, and then they indoctrinate you, then put you on the boat. You go, we can do this. I'm a believer. And what I'm saying, as Black men within the Black Manosphere, we have the power of the U.S. military in that way, where we can change the way people think. And if we did this from a perspective and from a stance to empower Black men to move mountains in this world, we could really do something. And to me, it's like, that would be fun. Like, all this gynocracy talk, that's petty bullshit. I mean, and I've done it, and I've done it well. But I'm like, that day is over. I mean, as men, we could just do so much more. So that's the only message that I'm trying to get through and I'm trying to convey today.
For sure, man. Well, thank you, man, for coming through, man. And
I get.
Hold on, let me remove him. I get that. I get the point. It's like being positive, creating, positive energy and imagery. And only thing I can say is, man, create the first charge, man. That's what I always say. Like if you have a value system or a set of desires or a set of preferences, rationality demands that you act towards actually making those preferences a reality. So that's one of the reasons why I say, like, you want to get at these hoes, you want to get into a fist fight with these bitches, start punching. That's all. I know it sounds callous for me to have said that. The only thing I'm saying is, like, if niggas want women to get flagged so badly for like violating the community guidelines, it doesn't take a lot of effort and energy to actually do it. Just do it. Be the agent of change you desire to see in the world. I mean, I know it sounds cliche-ish, but maybe niggas will follow you if you lead the charge. Instead of telling the homie, nigga, you ain't shit, nigga, this nigga, you fucking up. Show the homie how to do it and then get the nigga keyed in. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can catch more flies with sugar than you can with vinegar. How about that? So I'm gonna let Ian speak, man, and then I'm gonna lead the floor to Art. Ian, man, go ahead and hit us with the Willy Bobo.
Yeah, man. You're right. He gotta lead. He gotta lead the way and show the way. That's really how you do it. And that would be more appropriate. But in the Black Manosphere, you got to keep up an image, and that's part of who he is. He got to keep up the image, and not an image to say that he's disingenuous, because Mark is a Manosphere purist. You know what I'm saying? He's like Ramil and Ty City and all them. He's a purist. To the point to where he fucking had Dennis Sperling goddamn going back and forth and shit. Dennis Sperling, the way he doing you, he had Dennis Sperling in the same predicament and shit. You know what I'm saying? Dennis Sperling was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna lead the Manosphere because of this nigga.
Yeah, look. So you got 30 more seconds though. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, so and they're getting, when I talk about image, is that they went back and forth about whether or not an alpha male is also a simp, and essentially, and he's grown from that encounter. You know what I'm saying? He still got some rough edges on that, but again, he feels that a lot of niggas, too many niggas, are followers and not men enough. So he's trying to do a yeoman's carry that is impossible. He's trying to be man for the men that he feel in the Manosphere aren't man enough, especially even his followers. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of it, is that he wants to say that essentially the flaw is in your character is that you're not representing the alpha male image in that way, and so he feels that the real issue is that a lot of these men just don't have the masculinity enough to do what we got to do, and so he's gonna fucking show them how to do it. But you don't do that against your friend is the problem. I'll land there.
Okay, thank you, man, Ian. Appreciate you, bro. And my response to that is, man, look, I've had this argument with Marcus many times before, but I think it just reached a head that day when he said, "This is why we can't win." Like, I mean, any other time I probably would have let it roll off my back, but I felt really, kind of put off by it at that moment because I got so much other bullshit going on. Is it an excuse? It is, but man, bro, I'm back in the hood, man. I'm on edge. I got hood energy now. Nigga, I was living in a rural area with white people all around, waving at you. You drive by or walk by or some shit like that. This is motherfucking a city where if you look at a nigga the wrong way, the nigga's like, what you looking at, man? So now I got a different kind of like sensitivity. I got a different spidey sense popping off. It is what it is. But like at the end of the day, bro, my concept of manhood, man, is different than a lot of other people's, man. I'm not like, I don't have a persona of, I don't like to think that I know everybody has a persona to some extent, but I don't try to put on one or like to manufacture one. I believe that men are emotional. I believe that alpha male bullshit is some bullshit. I want to win, but like, I don't want to win like Cobra Kai, nigga. You know, I don't want to kick bitches in the knees and then say I won with a fair fight. You know, like that's honor upheld and that's not. But like, if you do it, I'm hood enough to be like, where nigga, if you gonna do some dirty shit, I ain't nigga gonna get at it. But my only thing is, bro, like going back to the lecture at hand or the issue at hand. This is not disrespect to anybody in particular. It's just saying what's true about all of the shit that's transpired in this space and what hasn't happened or what did happen. And when it comes to the question of Cynthia G, the fact is Dorothy killed motherfucking the Wicked Witch of the West, not none of us here, bro. That's just a fact, man. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but how can you sit there and tell another man that, like, you're the reason why we're fucking failing and we cannot win when nobody actually stepped into the ring and fucking threw a punch, man? Nobody was on the motherfucking on the court actually shooting three-pointers, man, but they want the stats to rack up in their column and get the MVP award. That's all I'm saying. Like, how can you dare assault another man's character and tell him, nigga, you fucked up? And I'm trying to, I don't try to humiliate people when I argue with them. But I mean, like, you can push me over the fucking edge, though. I can't be pushed over the edge. But I'm gonna let the brother Art, man, you know, like, bless us with the final comments, man, if you care to do so.
All righty. So I guess you got a lot off your chest.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyhow, you know, I mean, I'm always about black man's image and how we shouldn't be giving anyone that's not part of who we are material against us. You know, I'm always about arming people with power and power stories, power imagery. So I'm always been, you know, but I don't have that kind of voice in the space. But for the
I
most
don't know why
part,
you think that, man. You have a
popular choice.
well, to God's ears, right? But for the most part, you know, I always live by this premise. My time is up.
No,
that's not.
I always live by this premise. Don't let heat of the moments and all that kind of stuff put a wedge between brotherhood and building. You know, and I think we're still learning because we are a new so-called new culture of a people. So we're still learning, even though, you know, we are like the star of the show everywhere we go, whether it's negative or positive, talking about black people. But I think at the end of the day, I think probably if opportunity will come when all the smoke clear, I have a feeling that you guys will be able to chop this up behind the scenes. I'm not saying that after you chop it up, y'all will be hunky-dory, but I think you guys will have an opportunity to chop this stuff up based on what I've been listening to on both sides. But in the meantime, you know, you said what you have to say. Now it's time to make big things happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with you, man. I don't like when people egg things on because that's not where we need to go as a people, especially as black men.
Yeah, so you know, let me say this on mute because it's a lot of echoing going on. But did I go a little extra hard? Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I went a little extra hard, but I felt slighted because I'm like, damn, man, like, dude, you'll never hear me say no shit like that about you. You know what I'm saying? On your format, like, I don't know. It seemed it, but it seemed like he wanted that shit to maybe that kind of drama to kind of unfold. So I just let it go where I thought it, but I don't think it really was that way but I just think that's, you know, kind of his natural reaction. It just is what it is, man. You know, we both, you know, ego is, ego-filled dudes, man. It just is what it is, man. We both feel like we right damn near 100% of the time, and we both arrogant and cocky and shit. So that creates friction at times. But having said all that,
Yeah, so so for sure, man, you always the bruhs, I'm always gonna be in your corner, dog. Whether I'm, listen to a playback or whatever it is, you always know if it's something real big or whatever. I'm gonna send you some kind of message like, hey man, you need to know this A, B, and C. So people do know it's only what me, you, and Sandog. That's pretty much the people know that we rolling purple and gold 1911. So, but for the most part, man, just keep doing what you're doing, and I tell the brother the same. Do what he does, and then just keep it pushing, dog. But I appreciate you having me up. Sorry that I wasn't able to participate as much because I'm over here multitasking.
it's cool, man.
It's cool, man. Look,
I know you got a lot going on, so man, go ahead and get to your work, man, and I'm about to wrap this up.
all right, big doggy, really real.
Ruru. So anyway, man, we come to the end of this. It went a little bit longer than I expected. At the end of the day, man, look, I'm not trying to say. All I'm trying to do is defend the position that I held, man, and not to try to attack anybody or to issue ad hominems or any of that shit. It's what I was thinking. It's how I was analyzing the arguments. I wasn't endorsing, supporting, lifting up, edifying Cynthia G. I think the shit that she says is morally repugnant. But I also think that, I don't want to cut my own nose off to spite my face. I mean, I might win, but come on, man. I want to win at a cost that is acceptable. I don't want for us to win one battle, but we lose 10. Because we want to stick it to these bitches. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I want to win, but I want long-lasting winning. I don't want a short, ephemeral victory. I want to win the war, not just the little bitty skirmishes and the battles. So, having said that, man, I'm sitting in this motherfucker hungry. And when I say I ain't ate all day, I ain't ate one morsel of food all day. So I'm about to get out here, man, give me something to eat. And, y'all be peaceful, man. And, don't buy into the shit that we get into, man. You can take a side if you want to, but I'm asking you not to take a side on my side, man. Go where go where the wind blows you, man. Go where you like to go and consume what you like to. I'm not going to knock that dude content or his whole channel and no shit like that. Go, if that's what you want to do, man, go do it, man. I encourage it, man. I promoted the nigga shit as much as I possibly can. He can't say I didn't, nigga. I had you around. And I tried to, help you as much as I can. It might not have been a lot of help, but I didn't try to shit on you, dog. I never did. Even though I disagreed with some of the shit you said, at that moment, you know what I'm saying? It got heated. So it is what it is, man. I'll holler at y'all later, man. Y'all be peaceful. Holler at y'all, man. But before I go though, man, thank you to Mississippi Delta guy, Ignat's Mouse. Says, support the Green Gorilla channel. Thank you. But I want to steer away from that. Any kind of derogatory speech directed towards somebody else. But shout out to Mississippi Delta guy. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Shout out to the Grinch. Yeah, I engaged in a little bit of ignorant behavior. Okay. Shout out to Apex Prowler. Shout out to Drake Hapoy. Shout out to Dante Bryant. Shout out to Karen S. Shout out to George, Darnell Smith, Craig Spencer, Milton Patton, man. Appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'll let y'all on the next one, man. Let me know what you want to talk about, man, because I'm done with this. I'm not going into this bullshit anymore. I'm done with it. So y'all be good.